Okay. We should be live now. Okay. We're going to start the countdown here, and we'll be live in just about 5 minutes. Sorry for the delay, everybody.
We're good? No. Fucking A, dude.
We're good. That was, we had to do some,
It's chaos, dude.
Some power chaos behind the curtains, but, we got it here.
When has it ever not been chaotic?
That's true. Start? That is true. Yeah, it always usually is. So, all right. At least the show's on the road. What was I going to say on the
bud? What's been happening? I miss you.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to Steve?
Both of you.
Okay. Well, for
but
me,
Abby, you've been gone. You've been MIA.
I was in Los Angeles. I was there for a week. It was great. I got to sit and stare at the ocean for a while.
Really?
Yeah, I did. It was great. Bought a lot of books. Bought tons of books. I bought a lot of comics. I bought a lot of mystery novels. I'm on a real pulp novel kick right now.
Really?
Yeah,
and
I've been loving it. Yeah. I'm actually reading this author right now. I'm 2 books into we should have had Steve on the Power Comics TV. God damn it. Next time. No, I'm actually reading this author. His name is E. Richard Johnson, and he was an inmate in the Stillwater prison, Gabe.
Whoa.
So what? He was locked up in Stillwater, Minnesota, throughout the 70s, throughout the 80s, yeah, and I think a little bit of the 90s, for armed robbery and murder. He actually killed somebody during a bank robbery or something, and then he wrote a bunch of killer books. Yeah, so one's called Mongo's Back in Town, which is amazing. Shout out to that. And the other one is called The God Keepers, which is a great premise. It's about this guy who, an ex-cop, his wife died from a hot shot, heroin hot shot, mixed with cyanide, and he finds out that his wife was a junkie, and he's an ex-cop, so he's miserable and drunk, and he finds out that he's got to find out who killed his wife, and so he has to go undercover as a junkie. So he becomes a junkie in order to find out what happened to his wife. It's a great premise. And then I bought some comics, dude. I bought too bad Ben's not here tonight, which I'm sure we'll get to, but I bought this Daredevil run, the famous Frank Miller Daredevil run of Born Again. Have you read that?
So good. Not all of them, but Danny had a bunch and I started them, and they're incredible.
They're so good.
That's maybe my favorite Frank Miller, actually.
It was really good.
Awesome, man.
I know. I mean, I don't know anything about real comic books, so to me, I was just like, wow, this is comics can be really good.
No, I know. The writing is amazing. Frank Miller, the art is incredible. Yeah,
the art's awesome.
I actually haven't read that much Frank Miller, believe it or not, but that is one series that I started that is so fucking good, man.
It was really good. It's really good. So that I just, I bought all the issues I found at a shop, picked it up, and the books, and I don't know, man. That's all I've been doing. Reading, a lot of reading.
That's great.
Oceans and
good
reading. Yeah. What about you?
I ate some Subway out of the trash and got really sick, and I've been in a coma for 2 weeks.
That's where you've been? Because we were off a week, right? We didn't do a show last week, right?
Yeah, no, we've been off, dude.
Okay.
Just been working and jerking and reading and watching. I watched Picnic at Hanging Rock, that amazing Peter Weir film. It's incredible. I love anyone who hasn't watched any Peter Weir. Get your shit in gear. He's the fucking greatest, dude.
Ooh, I love these highbrow recommendations.
A bunch of weird movies. Watch that new Sopranos flick. I'm gonna hold my opinion here because
I haven't seen it.
I don't want to spoil anything, but just been on a movie kick, dude.
Oh, good. I've
been staring at Ocean's 11 while you've been staring at the ocean,
God damn it. All right, well, I think we're just about ready to start the show here.
Yeah, in 3, 2, 1, let's hit it.
Okay, see you on the other side then.
Okay.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Power Comics. I'm coming through your landline there. We got Steve here. A little bit of an echo. I don't know who it's coming from, but we got Steve here on the landline, the power line. He is connected here. Welcome, everybody, to Power Comics. Welcome, Steve. Welcome, Gabe. There's a notable absence here tonight. Ben Marra, I'm sure he'll explain it on next week's show, but it sounds like something crazy happened, but he's all right. Everybody's okay. So he couldn't make the show tonight, but who cares? We're going to do the show anyway. And we had a little bit of a technical snafu there, but here we are. We're back, and we have Mr. Steve McArdle here coming to us via Powerline.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Oh, good, man. Good, man. Good
so
to...
good. Steve.
Yeah.
Pleasure to finally meet you, man. I'm a huge fan. I'm so glad I couldn't be there on the last vid, but my God, you are one of my idols, man. I'm so happy to be here talking with you tonight.
Oh, my good God, dude. Thank you, Gabe. I'm a fan of you. You're the comedy of on the show.
Amen, brother.
Well, Evan is as well, too, but...
No, I'm not funny. Gabe's funny, and Gabe's what you call on funny. Okay, no.
Yeah.
So the reason Steve's on the power line is, and the reason we're about 15 minutes late here is we had some audio issues, but we figured out that we have his video, but if he dialed into the Zoom conference call line that I'm sure nobody uses, that it'll work. And here we go. So that's great. Awesome. Yeah, just like they drew it up. But anyway, Steve. The real reason that we're here tonight is last week some big news hit the Power Wire last week, and we've finally been able to formally announce our partnership with Floating World Comics, the wonderful dudes, Jason Lavian, Jason Miles. The dudes over there in I think Jason Lavian's in Oregon over there. That's where the store is, in Portland, I think. And we've been talking to them for a while, trying to get Power Comics back to the people. And it was kind of when we met Steve. It was like, I remember right out of the gate, it was like, we got to do this, right?
Dude, I'm so excited. Can I just start first before we get too into the weeds?
Yeah.
Man. Evan, I want to thank you first. Everything that you do for Power Comics. I mean, I came a little late to the game. You started beforehand, I think, with Instagram and stuff. But this wouldn't be happening without you.
Oh, thanks, man. Wow.
And I'm super indebted to the work and the spotlight you put on my stuff, and to be able to work, with you and the two Jasons, and let some people see these comics that never got to see them. 30 years later, who ever would have thought that would happen?
That's the magic of, what we always wanted to do here. We didn't want, because it's this weird thing we've got. Well, first, thank you, but, for saying that. And we've, collected these comics for so long now and wanted to share them with the world. That was always our intention. And way back 10 years ago, you could find a lot of these comics out there in the wild or on Mile High or other places. Now it's a different world. There's a lot of more people that are hip to the Power Comics scene, and they become more scarce. And actually the Red Bullet Comics stuff, your stuff in particular, was always rare. And I'd always seen it kind of on these low-res JPEGs online in different places, and always wanted to own them because the covers were so amazing. And then it wasn't until we actually got to meet you through our friend, at PM Home Video on Instagram, Jeff, and then, man, yeah, it's been ever since then. It's been like, okay, let's do this. And then, of course, I showed your work to Floating World, and they flipped out for it, and it was just kind of the perfect the perfect marriage, as they say, to bring the stuff back out. So,
yeah, and to add to that, sorry to jump in here, but like,
please.
There's a lot of power comics that we cover that are like, yeah, it makes sense why these are hyper obscure or whatever, but was finding Steve stuff and like seeing the breadth of his work and his like unbelievable body of work and just being like, what? It's a miscarriage of justice that this wasn't widely available. It felt like an alternate reality where it's like, why don't I own this? Why doesn't everyone own everything Steve's done? Because it's so fucking incredible and he's clearly so talented and so amazing. Why is this not widely available? And that's all I want. I mean, this is the culmination of everything we wanted out of Power Comics, is just like getting this shit out to the people. Because Steve, you are such an unbelievably amazing artist and creator and talented man that like this is a no-brainer. This is like
absolutely
this is such an honor to be able to be any part of your work. I mean, it truly is you are the reason we're here, if anything.
Well said, Gabe.
I'm speechless after that. I mean,
good.
I put a lot of hours and stuff into those comics, but man,
truly, thank you for everything, brother.
Like, I feel like I'm not worthy of you guys because you're the real deal. You're the
Who the fuck Steve. Am I, Steve? Who the hell am I? Come on. You're a fucking god, dude. I'm a schmuck with a ponytail. Steve. No, honestly, thank you for everything you've done and everything you're doing. We're deeply indebted to you as a creator and artist. Thank you. That's all I can say is really couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
Dude, thank you so much. I'm really just stoked to bring good comics to people.
Yes.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, us too. And that's a perfect segue into like if you're joining this and have no idea what we're talking about, which is highly possible. I'm going to just give you a little rundown here. This is the I'm going to cover up our faces here, but this is the announcement. This is the PR blast that went out last week. That Floating World Comics, and you can check them out at floatingworldcomics.com. Maybe I'll just throw that link in the chat here. One sec. Boom, boom, boom. Here's the link to the article. But basically, yes, we're teaming up with Floating World Comics. And yes, it says Power Comics, a long-running video and visual exploration of obscure small press comics from the 80s and 90s. Yes, we canonize the weirdest and wildest issues from that bygone era with the firm belief that these once-forgotten homegrown works and shattered dreams have now perfectly aged into the finest wine of outsider art. Amen. Power Comics is proud to announce a partnership with independent publisher Floating World Comics to curate a new line of reissues featuring our favorite and most important discoveries, including, which we'll get to shortly, Ken Landgraf and Bob Huszar's street vigilante epic New York City Outlaws. Fuck yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But also a collection of Steve McArdle's singular thrash-metal outlaw-verse. That's a perfect way to put that. Red Bullet Comics, which of course includes the amazing Vendetta Holy Vindicator, as well as Artillery #1. So that's what we've been up to. That's what we've been working on, and we finally announced it. And Steve, you've been putting a lot of work into this as well. Tell us what you've been doing to gear up for this release, which will be, we should say, next year. But tell us what you've been doing.
Yeah, man. Jason helped me. I bought a brand new super-sized Brother scanner. It takes up my whole desk so I could scan all the original art pages. Thankfully, I saved everything from all those, because, I did not just the artwork, but I was doing the layout and the paste ups for all the print work. So I saved all the pieces, all the original art, and so everything was scanned straight from originals for Jason. So quality of this book is going to be great.
Oh, man.
I guess it's like a remixed or remastered version.
But it's like you've kept all... That was the one thing, I think, when you first showed me that you had all the original art to the series. Perfectly organized, kept well maintained over the years, and it was just like, oh my god. And then when I got to see the scans and how the whole thing's been laid out, which I've been able to see, it's like, whoa, that is truly amazing. So I think the quality of this book too is going to be amazing. So that I'm really looking forward to. And there's also some extra stuff in there too. Is there anything that you're at liberty to disclose in terms of what's going to be in there as well?
If it's okay, I mean, I think I've shown some of the artwork on this channel for the true believers that tune in and watch this all the time. There's going to be some Gene Colan artwork in there. There's going to be some George Tuska artwork in there. Some of the legends doing Red Bullet characters.
That's so cool! Oh my god! So like some pinups that you had them draw from years back.
Years back, this was from the 90s.
Wow.
I was planning on, that was the next phase of Red Bullet. And, things got kind of derailed at the time. But I kept everything, and it was just sort of on hold. And now, thanks to, both of you guys and Ben and people being supportive, it's coming back again.
Yeah, it's gonna be so exciting. We're so pumped to be a part of this. It's going to be amazing. And let's just take a look real quick so the viewers at home can see. I have the originals here that I got from you, Steve, but the first ever Power Comics package. I'm not exactly sure. It's kind of up to Floating World in terms if they're going to release New York City Outlaws first or the Red Bullet comics first, but this is what it's going to include, and these are the originals, but it's going to have Vendetta, Holy Vindicator #1, of course, #2, oh my god, #3, which, we definitely need to look at a little bit closer tonight. I think what we should do to celebrate. #4, and then, of course, the first thing I ever saw of yours out there on the internet was Artillery #1, which, of course, is a spin-off of this series. So that'll all be included in there, and along with some bonus material. So this is going to be like one hell of a package.
Unbelievable.
And
I'm so stoked. I even went back and if you look at all the original art, which you'll see when the book comes out, I added halftones with grays and gray wash to all the original art pages. So it's going to be like a whole new book.
Holy
cool.
shit, dude. That's incredible.
Sweet. That'll be awesome.
Because I knew it was going to be good quality black and white printing. I was like, if I take the time, it took me about a solid month of going back over each page with, markers and brushes and putting in the gray tones.
Awesome.
But it looks really nice.
That's great. So that'll look amazing. And then, of course, just real quick so you can see it here, I've also brought these things have really shot up in value, but they're legendary as far as we are concerned. New York City Outlaws was the gateway drug for us to get into kind of the underappreciated underbelly of comics from the 80s. And New York City Outlaws is just one of the best cult series of all time. Definitely highly inspired by the Warriors. And it's this awesome street vigilante epic. Of course, issue #1 will come in the package. The amazing issue #2. And this will be a whole separate release that we're going to do. This is the amazing duotone issue, which is just awesome. I mean, come on. This
Ken.
It's the best. Yeah, Ken Landgraf.
The king.
Were you reading these comics when they were coming out, Steve?
Oh, my God, yes. Yep.
Fuck yeah,
#2 is
dude.
the only one I don't have.
Which one?
I've got 1, 3, and 4. So
He doesn't have
I'm
#2.
first in line to buy the book.
Oh, yeah.
And now I don't want to give too much away, but Ken and I actually been communicating a little bit.
Oh, good.
He's a super cool guy.
He's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah, he's a trip. Yeah, we got to get Ken on here.
I've got some cool artwork coming from him that I think people will see in the future.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude.
That's awesome. So, yeah, New York City Outlaws 2. And I think as we get closer to the release of New York City Outlaws, we'll definitely are going to start on the channel going through each issue, of course, because we haven't even touched them yet on the channel. So that's #2.
seriously.
Number 3, awesome cover. Maybe one of the cooler covers of the bunch there.
Best, dude.
Issue number 4. Oh, what's that? What am I looking at? Wait, what is that? Here.
Hang on.
Hold it. Oh, is that an original commission that you got from him?
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh my God.
I had him do it's actually a double pager.
Whoa. Yeah, Ken is all over the commissions. You can find him on Instagram.
Yep.
He sells a bunch of stuff on eBay.
He's awesome.
He's great. Yeah, I mean, just super prolific guy. And yeah, of course, number 4. And of course, I don't own number 5 because it's the rarest of the bunch and it's worth $1 bajillion. But we have a copy amongst the Power Comics collective that will be sourced for the final reprint. And then of course we have to get Jason Lavian on and Jason Miles on the channel at some point to talk about Floating World and answer some of the technical questions I'm sure a bunch of you guys are going to have. But this is really exciting stuff that we're going to be diving into all of this. And so on we need a Ken Landgraf shoot interview for sure. I might have to actually go film that. I don't know if Ken has the capability. He might be just like too legit to have Zoom capability. But we definitely got to get him on the channel somehow. Maybe we'll just have to invite him here. Anyway, I think we should go look at some Vendetta issue number 3 if you're down, Gabe, if you want to comb through it.
Dude, I am so down.
Okay, great. Because previously on this YouTube channel, we've looked at Vendetta number 1. We looked at Vendetta number 2, I think, for the Patreon, which I should upload to the YouTube now. I will after this. But we did a little video looking into number 2. I think that was just for Patreon, but we can definitely get that up there on the YouTube channel. But I think for now we should look at number 3. And maybe, Steve, if it's not too much trouble, as we go through this, maybe if you turn your speaker volume down on your computer just a little bit, the echo might dissipate. If that's not too much of a pain, but I don't want to crash the whole system there either. But anyway, dude, phone into Zoom is we always have a solution.
Brilliant.
We always have a solution. All right, well let's take a look, man. So Vendetta number 3, okay. Issue number 1, just a quick recap. I mean, this is where you're introduced to the amazing character that you've created here. And we've belabored this a lot on the channel, but here he is. He goes in to steal X-13, right? This is the secret, top secret. Well, you should explain it. Help us out here.
Yeah. Yep. The chemical agent X-13. It was used for war and stuff like that. And then he goes in, breaks in, steals the file.
That's right.
But of course, it's he thinks it's going to be able to reverse engineer it and somehow restore his face. But of course, he's been double crossed or triple crossed.
Yep.
And it only causes more damage and destruction. But then that also starts to give him more powers as time goes on too.
That's right. He kind of hooks it up. Here you get the awesome origin story spread here, which is great, into why he's disfigured and kind of why he turns into this. And then that's right. He's trying to reverse engineer it here, but then it kind of inadvertently makes him more powerful and he gets more abilities. And then of course we get into this like warehouse where a satanic seance is going on, which is amazing. And it just has everything. This comic literally has all the best of 80s metal tropes in it, which we love. And then, of course, the cliffhanger here as he's fighting his way through the warehouse and bludgeon this character here. And then, of course, he meets Artillery, and that's where Artillery is first introduced. And then, as we can just kind of do like a previously on Vendetta here, number 2 is like a full action forward comic, which I love. I mean, it's just all carnage. But this
is like such an unbelievable in terms of like the overall arc of the Vendetta comics. This is just That entire action scene. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's just nonstop. It's so fun, Steve. This is like
and very meticulous,
endlessly entertaining. Yeah,
very meticulous.
Masterful layouts, masterful compositions, masterful inking. It's just the best, man. You're the best. It's it's so fun to read. I mean, there's no like downtime to this shit. It's so exciting.
You don't take a panel off. That's for sure.
No, you really there's no room to breathe.
And it's cool.
I put a lot of ink on the pages, and I probably was listening to Painkiller or something like that.
Totally.
When I was working on it.
Yeah. This is Painkiller the comic for sure, and it's cool here. I just love this moment where Vendetta and Artillery they kind of finish destroying all these dudes, and then they actually get like a moment here to team up and kind of be buddies for a minute, and they go to this bar and they throw a few back, and they're like, "What's up, brother?" And then
like an action movie, like the buddy movie or whatever.
It really is.
Guys
totally
bond over a beer.
Yeah, it's great. And then of course more bad dudes show up and they have to kick some more ass. And that sort of leaves us, and then they kind of depart and they go their separate ways, and then we're really introduced to this character, right?
Yep.
Mistress of the Underworld.
Me.
Yep.
Love this guy in the background here chilling. And then that gives us into the cliffhanger to where we're introduced. So between issue number 1 and 2, you're teasing us with a new character, expanding the world, and that is Dagger, which you made an action figure out of this guy, right?
Yeah, a model kit.
That's right.
The assassin hired by Roger Stone to kill Vendetta, the Black Dagger.
I love that it's Roger Stone. Always prescient is So
I know I predicted that one. I don't know how I predicted that one in '92 or '91 when I came up with it. But
it's amazing. Yeah, Roger Stone is kind of the evil guy here in the corporation. The corporate villain here, and then of course just Black Dagger, an amazing character, and this I know this weapon appeared on one of our top power weapons. I mean, come on, how could you not? Yeah,
the best.
Yeah, like this is pretty much like probably like an attachable stereo that's actually playing Painkiller as the I'm sure the knife is extending there.
Yeah, it hides an 8-track in the side.
Yeah, totally. It's awesome. So that brings us to issue number 3. Awesome cover here. And then you really get a good full color glimpse of that weapon. Is there a name for that weapon, or?
Yeah, no, I haven't thought of any name for it. I mean, I design and draw everything out to the fine little details before I even do a character. I kind of like to nail everything down. Right. So I know, front, back, top to bottom, what everything looks like. Mm-hmm. But, and we made the model kit. It was popular. It sold out pretty quick.
That's awesome.
He only made a few of them. I think maybe 50 or 75 in the mid-'90s.
You don't have any at arm's length, do you, that you can show the audience? Or are they all packed up?
I have the one that I built up and painted.
Oh, where is it?
Hang on.
You can put me on hold. Okay.
This is like my Nintendo Power glove that I had that was so shitty. This is what I imagined it could do. It's just running around my house with the McArdle glove.
The McArdle glove.
Instead, I was playing like Duck Hunt with my Nintendo Power.
I know, it's total Metal Fantasy. Oh, okay, wait. I gotta zoom this to make it bigger here.
I think I might have shown him on the.
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah, that is so cool. So that was something that was available at like local comic shops, is where you sold that, or mail in, or how'd you do it?
It was a local model maker.
Wow.
And he had a shop, and he sold them out of his shop, and then through mail order too.
Wow. So cool. So amazing.
Super limited. Very, very limited.
Wow. I wish we had the means of recreating those. Maybe someday. Who knows? Maybe if everyone here, all of our subscribers, buys some of these, Red Bullet comics. Maybe, who knows? All right. So, all right. Let's take a look at this, man. Oh, looks like you've autographed it for me. Thank you very much, Steve. Is this true? Oh, well, I appreciate it. And this is 3,000 copies. Is that an accurate number of how many you made?
Yeah, actually, this is the only book that was co-published with somebody else.
Right.
So he got 1,500 and I got 1,500.
I got you. That's right, because the back is another
it's
comic.
A different ish.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, which you guys talked about. James from Maine that was doing it. He changed the name of the company a few times, but it was Ann Rule Studios.
Oh my!
At the time,
God, it is Jim McNaughton.
Bumped into him. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's Lance Stanton guy.
Right.
It's Hammock.
He was involved with Dick Ayers somehow.
Wait, what?
Right.
Dude, this Lance Stanton guy gets around.
He really does.
Yeah. So I went up to dinner with Dick Ayers and his wife one time. There was a comic convention. We all met up.
Wow. Yeah, Jim McNaughton, there he is. Wow. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, for those who don't know, Jim McNaughton is the writer and the man behind Hammock Comics of Lance Stanton fame, and I guess his uncle did Kendar the Crayon Warrior. Wow, worlds collide. Had no idea until we just rolled tape here. Wow, that's mind-blowing. That's going to take a while to set in. But Vendetta, that's awesome. Wow, I had no idea. So 94 we're looking at for this issue here.
Yep.
And let's get into it. Now, this issue is unique also, right, in terms of the formatting. Is that correct? Of the art?
See, again, he had the printer set up, so I wasn't involved with the pre-press really on this, the pre-press I was, but not the printing. So the Vendetta book, if you look at my side, it's got the black borders. This was supposed to be printed as a bleed.
I got you.
But
like all the other ones.
For some reason, they shrunk my pages a little bit, and they left these really kind of white borders around the edges for I don't know why.
Yeah, he probably doesn't show up that well on here, but there is kind of these white borders. Yeah, it's weird. Did that upset you?
You can tell.
Greatly when it came out?
A little bit at the time, yeah. Because I worked really hard on this book. I put a lot of hours on this one, and in fact, I even penciled some of the pages on the other book on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell because he had.
You can see it a little bit.
Or his niece inked some of the pages. She was very young.
Jessica McNaughton, yeah.
Talented girl, obviously, but I think some of the details that I put in got lost a little bit on some of this stuff.
Right. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow. So, but yes, I mean, this issue at first glance really is, I think, you going all out. I mean, this is the one that really is just the most meticulous, I think, out of the four.
Seriously.
Yeah. So, well, let's just dive into it here. So we got looks like Hobo with a Shotgun here a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. Why won't you listen? I told you I don't have any money. Please. Shut up, old man. It's time to either pay or slay. I like that.
It's such a good panel.
Yeah, it's great.
I love his halo that he has. I mean, I can't get into it, but every panel is just like perfection here, Steve.
Totally. I hope you don't have any money, old timer. Or we need some exercise. Let's show this fossil the Cruds mean business. So yeah, they're the Cruds. Great gang name.
Right. You know how I got the name the Cruds?
How's that?
It's a mix of the Crips and the Bloods.
Oh. Amazing. Cruds. That's great.
I was like the Cruds.
The Cruds. That's great. What the? And there's some great graffiti that's going to show up here. Some crazy son of a bitch is biking down the alleys. Jerk. Hey, we're not in the Cycle Psychos territory, are we? So the Cycle Psychos is another gang that's
another.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if you see some of the Cycle Psychos in future Vendetta tales.
Sorry, I don't have my
Look at this.
I don't have my cameras figured out well enough for this, but I just wanted to show the spread here.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's pretty special.
Unreal.
Yeah, just crazy. I love the guy.
I know.
You know, in the corner.
Like flying upside down.
The Cruds jacket, those are great. And wrong, you're in my territory, you punks. Might have a chance against another gang, but the streets of Omega City are now under the jurisdiction of Vendetta. Of course, with the logo. He says his own name in his own logo.
Yes.
And then call him Dagger, call him Death. Here we go, Chapter 3. So much to take in here. I love it. So much detail. Love the McDonald's here. Oh, the McArdles, excuse me. Wow. Just noticed that. The Omega Gazette, the soda. Wow. That's very clever. Looks like you have an Exodus flyer back here, half of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what I was listening to when I was drawing this page.
Totally. I believe it. So that's awesome. Okay. And this is very also prescient here. You have your Seattle wall here. Your Cobain lives, which is interesting. I mean, for 94, I mean, he must have just passed away.
That's right. I think that's right.
Because he was 93, I think, right? Is when he passed away? I don't know. And then is this
right around there? And
yeah. And it looks like you have a shout out to the Melvins as well. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Dude,
that's awesome.
That's nuts.
Yeah, love that. I don't think Melvins has ever had graffiti. This might be the first Melvins.
Listens to the Melvins.
That's
so underground.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Well, because that was probably right around the time that Houdini came out, so you were probably checking it out because that was their big label debut. I'm guessing.
I think you're right.
I'm guessing.
I think you're right.
I'm tracking it here.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think you're pretty accurate, man.
Yeah. All right. So what the fuck is going on? Even though you censor all your swears, but I'm gonna take some liberties here. Love this Cruds jacket. Some wise guy thinks he's gonna save Gramps. Haha. We'll kill you instead, hero man. Love it. Swing and a miss. I love that here. More heads rolling in the corner frame here. Whoa, take a look at this. You're one ugly mother. Looks like someone did a pretty mean job on your face, pal. Don't worry, though, because when we get through, that won't look like nothing. You shouldn't ought to mess with us, man. We'll fuck you up. The Cruds. Love it. And then, of course, he's like, no fucking way. You know, enter the kick. And then, resist
the holy kick.
The holy kick, yeah. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And that's always been your thing, too, with this, is like, we've talked about it on previous episodes of the show, is, no, it's not a religious comic. You wanted to give Vendetta that sort of inner Catholic guilt, right? Right.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Well, it just adds another angle and another, level to it, and it just, I don't know, I just thought it was something different. How can, there's so many comic books, there's so many characters, like, try to do something a little different, and then it gives it a kind of a gothic angle to it, too, and that can bring in good and evil, and most of the quotes I use, I was pulling from the Bible, too.
Oh, I love it. And I like, sorry, go ahead, Gabe.
I was just going to say, like, Black Sabbath is not a Christian band, but their whole discography, everything they write is within the Christian
spiritual. It has like a spiritual quality. Like if the devil exists and this exists,
it's such a metal thing to like work within the confines of Christianity and Satan and. Yeah, it's just so brilliant that this exists within that same world, and especially when I first read it, I was like, "Fuck, is Steve like Christian?" And then added this whole other realm, and then watching the video and being like, "Oh no, Steve was just like tapping into this idea that like had such an interesting, concept for a hero to be religious in that way. It's so fucking cool. It's so fun."
And it's
to look at it through that lens. It's amazing, man.
It's also very part of, like, I think the era of 90s comics too, of kind of like, when the sort of darker themes would come in, and you know, I feel like that's something where giving characters a more multi-dimensional inner turmoil, I think was kind of that era too, which is great.
Exactly.
So the Lord will teach and instruct you in the way you should go. And then, he's like, I missed the first. Forget it! Slash with the chain there. Awesome. Or punch, it looks like.
But the religious stuff goes over their heads a little.
Yeah, for sure. I could see that. The Cruds ain't reading scripture. And then this is awesome here. Just want to frame it up right. Turn around, freak! No born-again biker is gonna blast in here and fuck with us. We ain't no small-time hoods. We are the... What does that say? It's censored. We are the what, Steve? We are the... we're the shit. We're the shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
See, but I didn't put in the real swears just because I didn't, want to have, like, I don't know, like, anybody really complaining, and I wanted to be able to have it on comic book shelves next to Batman or whatever without it being too far out.
And you also didn't want it to be like, by censoring it's good, so it's not like, he's saying like, we are the shiz, or something where it makes it like really corny too. So I think that's good.
Right.
And but also awesome. There's so many great just musical references throughout the whole series, and of course you can see the DRI shirt this guy's wearing, which is awesome. Love it. You going down, bro? You going down hard? And then just like amazing. Shut up. Yeah. It's so good. It's really good. It's just it's awesome. So then this is a great page. Again, I know you were giving me some hell there, Steve, about the power layers when we did that, but man, Vendetta's got some good ones that we definitely skipped over. So,
I was joshing you on that.
I know.
No, I don't care, Evan. It was totally his responsibility, and he failed you. Truly, Steve, you had some of the.
He was ready to take it all back.
And Evan fucked up, man.
No, I was surprised. I was afraid you taking me seriously. I was just...
No, stop. No. No. Screw this. I'm out of here. That should take the wind out of their sails for a while. Right now, I've got more important matters to attend to, like returning to the underground complex and running some tests on myself. Amazing. At the complex. Good. It's true. Ever since I was exposed to the vapors of chemical X-13, I've become physically stronger as well as developing a warning sense for danger. It sure helped tonight, knowing there was a gun pointed at my back before I saw it. So that's what was going on. But I still don't know if there are any other side effects. To run more tests, I'll need the rest of my compu files. It's time to visit the apartment of Damon Scott for the last time. And then, of course, see issue number 1 that's referencing the backstory.
Oh. I love that. I love
that too. Yeah. Gotta have that. All right. Oh man, here's
dude.
Whoa, Megadeth front and center too, which I'm glad. I'm glad you weren't shy about the Megadeth graffiti. It's like, we're getting it all in there. Yeah, awesome, great. All right, so, Snake, I don't see Derek. Maybe we should go back and see if he's. You go and look out for him, not me. And then it looks like what's happening here. I'm clumsy mofo. Love that. Clumsy mofo. I'll cut you into ribbons. Oh, will you? How unfortunate that your bravado so greatly exceeds your wisdom. Whoa, Black Dagger. You see, I'm somewhat accomplished in the art of combat myself. What do you men say we put our abilities to the test? I love this. The graffiti. Do you want to die behind him?
Do you want to die?
Yeah. Hello, me.
A little bit of a foreboding message of what's going to happen.
Totally. Jim Kelly asks, how long to complete one issue of this, Steve? How long would it take
question.
You?
Oh wow. The first one took a long time. like close to a year.
Wow.
Developing the characters and
I
everything
bet.
like that.
Yeah.
And I tried to get ahead of myself when I started getting the books distributed, because I was trying to get them so they would come out quarterly.
Sure.
So I was trying to get to the point where I could do a book in 3 months. But like things changed. Like I said, like this book, this book here changed where like I went from doing 2 color covers to a color cover. Plus I drew a bunch of pages for the other side.
Right.
And then like Vendetta 4 was a much bigger book too. I took on more pages.
Yeah.
So it was hard to stay to that 90-day deadline, but I'm hoping maybe at some point I might be able to get back to that again.
That seems like.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, I mean that would be incredible.
Steve, did you create the whole story arc first, or did you kind of have like a vague idea where the story was going, and you were just kind of doing it as you were going along here? Or did you actually have like the whole structure laid out? Because it's such a solid story arc here,
Totally.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I had like the rough outline, and I had it tight enough that I could start the first issue,
right,
and sort of discover little things along the way. But I knew that like I was going to introduce artillery in number 2, and then like the Black Dagger in number 3,
yes,
and then do a finale for number 4, and then I was dropping in the little Easter eggs, like you notice, like in the artillery book, you see the origin of Slate happening, and these are little characters and stuff that happen to come out into Crowbar 9.
Crowbar 9, we haven't even touched yet. We gotta get to Crowbar 9. That's for sure. We gotta get there.
Yeah, I'm getting ahead, but
no, it's cool. But on the channel, we gotta get there at some point. But meanwhile,
like you said, Gabe, I was trying to plot the whole thing out, like weave it all together.
I mean, I just am like in awe because I can't even wrap my head around what that looks like narratively. I mean, just looking at the work and like, Steve, it's just so unbelievable to like, I can't even parse out how you would structure it and what, the art. It's just unbelievable, man. I can't sing your praise enough. It's so amazing. Truly.
Thanks.
Well, let's see what Roger Stone has to say about it, Gabe. Roger Stone sits silently in thought in his top-floor Chemicorp office until I should be receiving reports from my operatives any time now. And then it looks like the devil himself here, or the Dark Overlord. Does he have a name, Steve? Oh, yeah, Lord Leviathan, of course.
Leviathan.
I think I have a trading card behind it. Yeah. Stone, it is nearly time. Time for your next offering to the dark forces of your omnipotent overlord. Don't dare insult Lord Leviathan by offering one of your sad, broken-willed experimutations. You know that I need strong, healthy souls for thriving life forces for my purposes. You can and will deliver Stone, or else. You will be most pleased, my lord. As we speak, my men are corralling your next gift, a strong, intelligent woman with the soul of a fighter. I've also arranged to have our loose ends tied off. Permanently! Love this screen tone you're giving him back here, too.
That's a great read, by the way, Evan. That was great.
Yeah,
thank you.
Classic.
Love it.
And, all right, here. Oh, now we got to flip. We got to do a little flipperoo here.
Love this
all right,
layout here.
Director's commentary on this one.
Okay.
Look at the printing. Both pages are going different directions.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
Wow.
Way.
So I'm supposed to go here first, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. So, wow, something else we can lampoon Jim McNaughton about at some future date. I love how every issue kind of has this, though, how you're really playing with that. I love that.
It's true. Every issue has this
cool.
like weird, this great jump in terms of layout. I love it.
Yes, and Insidious Monk talks about hopefully we get a Crowbar 9 reissue or re-release too. Ooh. Yeah, I think. But Steve's you got to finish up number 3, right?
I'm working on that right now. To be honest, I'm actually finishing that up, and I'm going to do some touch-ups on 1 and 2.
Wow! So there you go. So who knows? Down the line, we'll get another. We'll get a Crowbar. We'll get its own release.
Ready soon, and then you know we can talk down the line, whatever.
That's amazing. All
we'll
right.
Talk. We'll talk down the
We'll
line,
talk, Steve. All right, 2 miles south of Damon Scott's official residence. I must make sure I'm not seen going in or out of the building. The police don't know that Damon Scott and Vendetta are one and the same, and I'm not about to tell them. Wait, there's someone in the apartment. It's either more of Stone's goons looking for me or the police looking for clues. Either way. And then, of course, it references here, readers of the last issue know who our guest is.
Yeah.
It's time to get scarce. I can't accomplish anything here. I should head back and get some rest. I can pick up those CompuFiles files and other valuable data later on, then donate the furniture and other stuff to the homeless shelter. Awesome. All right. Good man.
So
Practice what you preach.
Right, he's a nice guy.
He's a nice
he's
guy.
such a good guy.
I mean, he's a good guy for, all the spikes and skulls and chains. And
He's a good guy.
he's a good guy. You know that Vendetta, he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a
good guy.
guy.
He takes care of his people,
Yeah. This is a great page. I love it how you fit this in with the building here. It's just really cool.
Brilliant.
Meanwhile, directly above, another 2 minutes and I'll try and wait. What's that? It can't be. It is him. He's in range. Just 1 second more. He won't even know what hit. Something is wrong. My life is in peril. So his senses start to go off. What the? Someone is attacking me from the rooftops. So we're spinning around here on the bike.
Ooh, great panel.
Yeah,
Great
really cool.
panel.
Love it. Sweet. All right, let's see what happens. Oh no! Wait!
Oh,
wow!
God.
Funny shot.
That is it.
Get out of town.
Wow,
Look
Thigh
at that.
Town, USA. Yeah,
I
love
know.
it. So cool.
Box for days.
They didn't get this wrong in the printing. That's great.
Yeah, thankfully.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really cool.
God, so incredible.
Yeah. Perhaps the saints do shine over you, holy man. For none, he's saying all this as he's dropping down. For none have you ever evaded my aim before, but your luck has run out. You have been marked for death. I am your sworn executioner. I am known as, I love it, logo. So metal.
The logo.
Great metal thing. I am Black Dagger. I am your doom.
Oh,
So great.
this is incredible.
Lesson to everyone on branding their own characters. Have them speak with their logos. Definitely. Yeah, that is so great. So awesome. Great shot,
I mean,
too.
this is the best spread ever here.
It is. It's great. It's awesome. I mean, just as a kid, really of the early '90s, like this. I mean, I would have had the fuck out of this figure, for sure. Like this, it's just great. It's awesome.
I would have definitely been happy to die at the hands of Black Dagger if that was the last thing I saw.
Oh my god. Yeah. So here he is here. Nice speech. Now let's see what you're made of. Far harder stock than you, my boy. Far harder. And then here we go. Some action. Don't bet on it. I'm defeated. I've defeated them bigger and better. Awesome action scene here. Yeah, no problem drawing this action here. Yep.
Yeah, the whole book, this whole issue is pretty much action.
It is, yeah.
I mean, the first time I read it, that last splash page, I remember when I first read it, I was like, oh, this is the end of the issue. This is a great ending to this issue, is Black Dagger falling onto my fucking head. And then, of course, I turn the page, and we're just more action. It's just never ending. It's so great. This is so awesome, dude.
Yeah, right up against the telephone pole. Don't delude yourself. You will never see a finer warrior than myself. No one has ever beaten me in one-on-one combat. Ever. Dual daggers. What is this, some kind of sick challenge? Yes. I love that. As he's choking him. Why, yes. If I can cut off the oxygen to his brain, I can end this quickly and clear. Gotta have that, too. In any fight scene, you gotta cut off the sentence, at the last. Mm-hmm. Whatever I can do. And then there is great honor. Yeah, totally. There is great honor and victory. And lots of uhs too. And spoils to the champion. Awesome. Love how he's tossing him there. Great.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Nice wrestling throw.
Yes, totally. Absolutely. Here we go.
Oh.
Another awesome spread here. Really, the reader's really getting his money's worth here. In terms of sick things they could put on their wall, man.
I I was trying to push the envelope because, like you said, it was the '90s, so there was a lot of like people doing their fancy designy pages.
Right.
But I didn't want to just do pinups. I want to make sure I kept my storytelling.
Right. Totally.
Kind of
makes sense.
Both.
Makes total sense. Total sense. There is a very high price over your head, and I am to collect in spades. And I bet those blood-soaked dollars came from Chemicorp banks, courtesy of Roger Stone. I just love how this all. I just can't help but picture actual Roger Stone. Don't count it yet. Don't count it yet, though, Dagger, because your aim doesn't make it. Where sin abounds, God's grace does much more abound. That's probably from the Bible, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Sorry, but I go where the money is. Fool! Before ye seek riches, seek kingdom of God. Awesome. Love it.
I love it.
So
dude.
cool. And then here we go. You're a good fighter. One of the best I have ever faced. But you're nuts. And then judge these backgrounds too. Not taking a second off on any of these backgrounds, are you? Judge not. Yeah. Stuff it. Sunday school is over, and so are you. Love that. Awesome shot with the blade against his throat there. I was careless. This guy is too good to take chances with. Just still fighting. Just relentless fighting here.
Endless action, dude.
It is relentless.
I love it. It has to be. And then, oof, that's better. For a minute, I thought you were going to preach me to death. Say what you will about my beliefs, but I've gone through far too much to be stopped by the likes of you. Why the sudden lack of cynicism? Face it, you are out of your league. Now he's firing back here. Love it. Looking great. And then, wow, another spread here. Wow. And then this is the shock here with the wow. Talk about this here. Talk about this. This is a pretty wild choice, A, and B, this kind of wild, almost like, holy circle that forms from him.
Yeah, I wanted to just, again, try to push the envelope and how can I, like, make something look more special or more exciting or more different?
Yeah.
How do you show life exiting a body? I don't know, but I just was like, I'm going to do some weird, crazy stuff.
It really is, Steve. This is like such a medieval, 12th century triptych in a church somewhere.
That's
explaining the life coming out of your body. I mean, such an incredible setup, not to get ahead of the next issue, but Vendetta getting stabbed in the chest. It's just so perfect. What
stomach?
An unbelievable setup. Yeah. I mean, it's just so good.
It's shocking.
It's so exciting.
It's definitely shocking, and it's like, and you always said that this was at the top a 4-issue series, right? It does say that in there.
Yeah. I had figured out 4 books to begin with.
So if you know that, it's like, whoa, what's going to happen in the last one? if we're going to have this cliffhanger here.
Well, that's kind of what I had laid out. Like Gabe's question was I kind of had the post markers. Like, okay, this is going to happen in the end. Introduce artillery, introduce Black Dagger. Vendetta's going to die by the end of number 3. Number 4 is going to have to be some kind of resurrection, and it'll be a little bit of a longer and the conclusion of the book.
Right.
It's awesome. Perfect.
Brilliant. Really so smart, Steve. Such a great setup.
All right, come on, Dagger. You came here to kill me, so get up and fight. By tomorrow night, I will be in the Caribbean Sea. Sipping Dom Perignon. That I hope you drew for issue number 4 is him sipping Dom Perignon. Toasting your ghost. You are worthy opponent, Vendetta. Awesome. And then, of course,
so brutal.
Get some good use out of that stereo dagger there. Farewell.
And that many panel stuff. Now I look at it, it looks almost like Mayan meets like tribal tattoos or something.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's
I love it.
otherworldly. I love this last panel of Vendetta, like gutted on the ground. It's so brutal.
Yeah, it's great. And then here, the cliffhanger page. Rejoice, not at the death.
This perspective, I'm sorry, is so insane. I was just looking at this before we recorded. I love this perspective on this page. It is totally bonkers. Yeah, so I can't. You're a master, man. Incredible.
Well, yes, absolutely. But like, you know, through these issues, one of the cool things that's really awesome to spotlight, I think, with your work, and not something we see a lot in a lot of power comics, is that you really give all sorts of different perspectives. It's not just the same, you know, the level of dynamic view, you know, in your in all these pages is just it's awesome. That's something. I mean, yeah, you're turning the issue, you're looking at just these different perspectives. You do get a lot of that across this, which is awesome. So
thanks for noticing that, Evan. Yeah, I want to push myself as an artist, and I want to make a fun experience for the reader. Like, I'm a fan too, so I want to like make a comic book that I'd be psyched to read and be like, oh, this is great, you know?
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of the best of, like, you know, stuff in metal or in this genre. It's like, if you know it, like, you know, you and if you devour it, like, you know all the bands, you know all the tapes, or you know all these comics, it's like you got to push it farther and take it the next step, which this does, you know, which is awesome. So here we go.
Also, just sorry to cut in, but like, all of these issues are so readable that the first time I went through the series, you know, I barely stopped to like appreciate individual panels because they read so well
and quick
and quickly by the time I was done with the series, I was like, it's just so masterfully crafted that it took me, you know, and then I went back and started looking at individual panels. I was like, wow, this is so masterfully crafted that it's like, it's that thing of like being so well crafted that you don't even think to stop to like break it down.
Smell the roses.
Yeah, it really is. You're watching a movie. You know, it's not even about reading a comic. It's like elevated to this idea of just like you're running through the action. They're so action packed.
There's a lot to take in, and there's a lot like to really live in and notice. You know, and a lot of like Easter eggs, as you say, but also just a lot going on in these pages, you know, and
to appreciate, and again, you know, for everyone out there, like the actual art, holding these comics and looking at the art, it's unbelievable. Like, it's just you know, when these do get reissued and you're able to actually hold these in your hand and look at it, it's so special. I mean, as someone who wants to be an artist, it's just like so awe-inspiring to look at this stuff and hold it in your hand.
And it's going to be cool as like, you know, collected in a trade paperback, you know, and to be able to see it all together is going to be really cool for sure. So finishing it up here, looks like we have a Bible quote here. Is that right? Yep. Rejoice not at the death of thy enemy, knowing that we all die, and we are not willing that others should rejoice at our death. And I'm not even going to try to say who that quote is from.
Ecclesiasticus.
Okay, thank you very much. That would be a good thrash metal band. Ecclesiasticus. Here we go. Yeah. That's it.
Another T-shirt that no one can read.
Yeah, exactly. Ecclesiasticus. That's it. It's over. The world's greatest assassin has triumphed again. Vendetta is dead. Of course.
Yes.
Great, awesome. And I love just the way the blood is trickling out here, like it's roots in the ground.
Like weird, like fungus veins. It's
veiny fungus.
So weird. I love it.
And then two epic tales collide head on.
I wanted that looking down camera angle, you know, very much like thanks, by the way, Gabe, for that compliment that you said about reading the books quick. that's one of the nicest things I've heard, and I've never heard that compliment before, but that's exactly what I wanted, is like not people to analyze every panel or page, but to just read it through and like a fast action movie, bang, like just enjoy it.
Steve, truly, I mean, like, my favorite comics, the same thing. It doesn't matter who the artist is or creator. It's like you read them, and it's like the art, everything.
Yeah, well, you want it to have like a real momentum, you know, because sometimes, and obviously, exactly. Like in the realms of power comics, like this, you know, obviously sits in another category, you know, with some of the others that we look at. That we look at on the thing, but you know, not to throw shade at last week's issue that we looked at, or 2 weeks ago, but you know, obviously the creators there, even though the art is amazing and singular and unique, one of a kind, the creators are really bogged down by the exposition, and then it becomes like you're lost in the, like there's no momentum that's driving you as the reader forward.
That was a beautiful comic book.
It was.
But I know what you're saying. It was hard to follow.
There was a huge gulf in between the art and the story, and it was all about appreciating both of them separately. This is like it really is just, it flows so well, and it's so exciting and so entertaining, and like I read every issue back to back, and then afterwards I was like, oh, I need to like really study this stuff, because it clearly is so masterfully crafted that like each panel deserves to be appreciated on its own, because it really
very lean and mean.
And again, Steve, it's like I've looked at so many power comics where action is front and center, and you're just kind of
the least interesting
by like
the least
stinky action, you know? And exactly. And this is like somehow you've managed to make comic book action really exciting and
it's cool.
You know, energetic in a way that's just like unbelievable.
Gabe is glowing tonight. You have Gabe full
I'm like
glow.
The biggest fan in the world.
You have a big.
Dude, I am speechless.
He's usually
Thank you so much. I mean,
I'm usually like making fart noises.
He's usually the heel of the piece, but he got him glowing tonight.
It's the best, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and that leaves us right there with Chapter 4, the Abattoir of Souls.
Dude.
Will be the conclusion, which we will look at a later date.
And what a conclusion! Let me tell you, what a conclusion!
Yeah, it's pretty epic. So great cover art too on that, and of course we will look at that. We'll bring you back, Steve, to look at that. I got to upload our old is probably 6, 7, 8 months now old of us looking at Vendetta issue number 2, but I will throw that up on the YouTube channel maybe tomorrow.
Cool.
And then we sort of finish it up here with some letters, which is great, and then obviously some tantalizing merch from Red Bullet Comics, some T-shirts, and then one thing I just really quickly noticed I just wanted to touch on is obviously the other issue, the Scorpion issue number 3 here, as we were talking about at the top of the show. Also, it looks like at the end, he's advertising this, which is obviously, you know, I should have known. I should have known that was what's his name, Jim McNaughton. But at the end here, we see Vendetta, like dead. So what's the deal with that?
Yeah, what is the deal with that?
You don't know?
What's up with that?
Great answers.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, wait
I
a minute.
Confirm nor deny any knowledge of holy Vindicators crossing into any other comic book universes.
Weird. So he just did that on his own?
I love it.
No, you know, we were going to try to do something of a crossover.
Okay. I see.
And I'll just say it didn't work out.
Well, the only crossover I would have liked is to see Vendetta and Lance Stanton back to back, taking down some weird landscapes. You know. But
I didn't even know Lance Stanton back then. All I saw was
I don't think anybody did.
He had a couple issues of Scorpion.
I see. Okay, Scorpion. Scorpion's on the flip side of this. Definitely makes it, you know, a weird anomaly issue in the original run. And for those asking, no, it's not going to be part of the trade paperback.
Of the Red Bullet books.
Yes, it is. It is. But awesome cover art, just so sick. You get what you pay for. So cool. We got a question here from Jeff Miller. He says, Jeff is the reason that we got introduced. Because Jeff used to.
Man, he's another guy who deserves a huge thank you. Major thanks to Jeff if he's in the chat. He's a super great dude.
He's amazing. Thank you, Jeff. He's really incredible. What an amazing guy.
Yeah, Jeff was basically the conduit in terms of me being able to actually buy these issues off you when you had them still. So thank you, Jeff, for hooking us up, man. Okay, he says, odd question. How do you go about printing the artillery and crowbar covers? They have a certain quality ink thickness I can't quite put my finger on.
Oh, boy. See, very, very...
that's a Jeff question. Yeah.
See, that's good, though. Those were color copies.
Oh, wow.
Those weren't regular offset printing. Yeah, they are a different type of...
has like a texture to it.
Different stock.
Yeah.
It does. It has a weird texture to it somehow.
I like it, though.
And it came out really neat.
Yeah, it did.
It did. It came out neat. Those books I printed myself. I used to joke at the conventions. People would be like, "What do you do in the book?" I'd be like, "I do everything, including the staples."
Yeah.
I do the printing, and I put the staples in too.
Wow, this is truly
such a great quality.
Truly one-man band of a Power Comics line here. That's what we love about it. And that's what makes it a Power Comic to us versus, a lot of people would look at this in other ways and say this is probably too good for the things that we look at, but I think the singularness of your vision here is what definitely for me makes it a Power Comic. But thanks for that.
Too good, no way.
Too good? No.
Too good.
No. We talk about that all the time.
It's insane good.
There's these two different worlds of Power Comics. One is the endless struggle to create something, and the other is just the absolute masterful singular vision. And they're all the kind of the same world in a lot of ways.
That's
Jeff,
the fun of it. And I do have my own little world. Like I've created Omega City, and I kind of have my own vision when I go in and I start drawing. Like I'm walking into another town or something. So I definitely have a vision for it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, Jeff thought that it was a screen printing at first, but no, it's just looks like a different stock there.
It was the beginning of full color copies, back when color copies were pretty expensive.
Wow.
But because I was working at a print shop at the time, I was able to get a discount on stuff.
Sir Rockingham asks, you might know the answer to this question, Steve, just because you've been dealing with the layout of the book. Will the reissues be full bleed?
Sir Rockingham.
Yeah, Sir Rockingham, bro. Will the reissues be full bleed?
Rockingham. That's a good question. I'm pretty sure it will be because
I think so.
Jason is in charge over at Floating World,
and
the guy's pretty incredible. I think both Jason seem. I've only worked with Jason Levian. The other Jason seems pretty cool too. I've talked to him on Facebook.
Yeah,
but I'm sure he asked for super high res scans. I took all the stuff right from the original art. I spent like a whole month.
It looks amazing.
Going back over the pages, scanning everything for him. So yeah, it's gonna look badass.
We have Dan Elson here, new to the channel, but have been in the know about you guys from Cartoonist Kayfabe. Looks like that's a shirt you're wearing there too, right, Mr. McArdle?
Nice.
Yeah. The Outlaw comic shirt.
I'm a huge fan, man. They got a great channel.
They do.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, Ed. Shout out to Ed Piscor over there and Jim Rugg, two great dudes. And have tracked down some of the greats, quote unquote, super stoked to learn about the pairing with Floating World. Oh, of course, yeah. And this is just the start. I mean, doing New York City Outlaws and doing Vendetta, that's going to be just the first step for us. We obviously want to do John Tar. We want to do Dreamweaver if we can get, a hold of the right people to call us back. And, we want to make all those dreams happen to kind of continue the line of kind of the best of Power Comics to really kind of get them back out there. I think that's what we for all the jokes we've cracked, I think it's we have to make it right by putting these out again.
I mean, that's the goal, man.
That is the goal. We love them.
We love this stuff like our children, you know.
We do. So, will the trade be in any comic shops or only online? I believe they will be in shops. I don't know exactly.
Nice.
You know, I think that obviously they probably have to be some shops in the know, you know, some shops that are into some specialty product like this. But Floating World has that distribution. I mean, it has the. I mean, Steve, we submitted to get the barcode and the whole deal. So.
Yeah, everything's in place.
Yeah.
Floating World not only has their own location, and it's going to be through the major distributors like Diamond and Amazon. But I just read the other day, Floating World just signed with Lunar Distribution.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Oh, wow.
So they just signed on with another big distributor. So the book should be available pretty much everywhere.
That's so cool.
You can ask and have them order it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah, and one of the other things that we're going to do, which we didn't talk about at the beginning of the show, but I think the plan is for us is that we're going to get a bunch of copies direct from Floating World. We're going to sell them also on through the Power Comics Instagram, through our Patreon, and perhaps we can get some bonuses together. So maybe some one of a kind items will be available through our Patreon and or our Instagram as well, in addition to the actual final copies. So stay tuned for more info on that, because that's going to be really exciting too. But yeah, tons of stuff that we have hopefully coming within the next year. But yeah, as soon as we have a date to officially announce for the Red Bullet comic stuff, we'll definitely let everybody know here. And because we don't have a date. Oh, we do have a date.
June 26th, 28th.
Oh, 28th. Holy shit! I'm so misinformed here. June 28th, 2022. So June 28th of next year. Next summer will be the summer of Red Bullet Comics. That's when it's dropping. So June 28th. I'm going to update that in the description and everything else. June 28th, 2022 is when you will be able to pick up the Red Bullet Comics trade paperback, courtesy of Power Comics. That's crazy to say that. Power Comics and Floating World Comics.
Mental.
Unreal. Unreal. Dream come true type stuff. So thanks, everybody. I know, and we had so many amazing comments from everybody on the Instagram post from last week of just people being excited about the potential of this, as we are as well. So, I don't know, Steve, anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
No, that's pretty much all I can think of. I just want to thank you guys again for everything, man. I'm honored that you guys are helping people see these books again, that you appreciated them and you enjoyed reading them.
Oh, they're amazing.
It means a great deal to me.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the pleasure is ours.
Pleasure is all ours, Steve.
Yeah, as soon as we saw them, it was like a jaw drop moment. I think that they have, I think over the years they have just like we said in the press announcement, it is aged into fine wine. I think they're finally ready to be unleashed. I think the world is finally caught up to Red Bullet Comics, and so I think now's the perfect.
Liquor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So I think it's right in line with that, and I'm actually looking here at the announcement. It says 136 pages, and the price will be $19.95.
It's a steal.
$20, 136 pages.
Bucks.
Wow. June 28th, 2022.
Besides all 5 issues, there is, I think, over 10 pages of bonus art.
Amazing.
Wow. So someone mentioned here in the comments that someone saw a Vendetta 1 on eBay for $997. Is that accurate?
Get the fuck out. Oh, that was me. I just listed that super high just to make a quick buck. No, that's insane if that's true. I mean, totally worth it.
I hope it's your copy, Steve. But
No.
Okay. So the demand is there, but hopefully this will be in the hands of people that really want it. And there you go. So I'm going to put the link again into the chat for anyone who has joined, but here's all where you can get all the information on the release. Yep. June 28th, man. Next year, we will have a big party. We'll have a big release party. Hopefully we can have a big Power Comics shindig. If the world can come back to normal by then, that would be fantastic.
We'll get Manowar to play. Release party there.
No, we got to get your band to play, Steve. That sounds appropriate.
Fuck yeah, Steve, do it.
Skullhammer.
Yeah, it was Skullhammer and Sir Rockingham in
Sir
the chat.
Yes,
he's a rocker as well.
Sir Rockingham can join up and. Steve, real quick before we go, and now when I say power metal, I don't mean the actual established genre of power metal, but what I would be considered power metal by the same standards we apply to comic books. One of the bands that I've been obsessed with over the last few months, I wanted to see if these guys have been on your radar. Cirith Ungol.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay. Dude.
Yes. Great response.
Oh. Man,
yeah.
Like the early, it's almost like an early doomy, sort of a Black Sabbath-y sound.
Yes.
But the singer has this really weird, unique voice. Nobody else sounds like him at all.
That's what throws it over the top for me, is like the weird, like Skeletor final boss voice that he has is incredible.
Garage-y quality of it.
But I implore anybody who is a metal fan to check out Cirith Ungol. It is like it's the coolest it's like literally it sounds like they're like airbrushed on the side of a van, like it's that kind of sound.
The King of the Dead. It's not a Frazetta album cover, but it looks like a Frazetta.
Totally.
Knockoff.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%. It's just Cirith Ungol, King of the Dead. Crack open your favorite power comic and crank it, and it goes. It's a perfect power sommelier pairing between Cirith Ungol.
God, that's brilliant. Because some people they talk about like, oh, you need the correct wine to go with that meal, or you need the correct cheese to go with that like. I think we should pair music with comics. Like,
you're right. Okay,
good brother.
Music, like there's some music like you can't really read and listen to, like stuff too noisy or too
crazy,
chaotic. But there's some really great music that makes great background music to read in comics.
Okay, so this is what we need to do. Mark your calendars. We're gonna do definitely in the lead up to June 28th, 2022. We're definitely gonna do a video of the issue by issue, maybe like every 4-page song pairing for each of the Vendettas.
Right.
And I have some ideas. I have some ideas already because I know Painkiller is going to make a couple appearances on there. But that's what we should do, and then we can release the playlist, on Spotify or something for people to have the perfect power sommelier metal and comic pairing with their brand new copies of the Red Bullet Comics trade paperback. I think that sounds good.
I want absolutely brilliant idea.
Okay, we're gonna do it.
Jantar and Heavy Load together.
Heavy Load, yes.
Oh yeah.
Great, good call, man. A lot of people don't know those obscure bands. That's a good one.
We got tons of the obscure records over here, so we can actually we'll have the LPs out here to drag them out for all the appropriate power pairings. But Jantar, I don't know. Jantar might be something a little more wobbly than that.
That yeah.
Like
I mean, that's pretty wobbly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like Manila Road.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yes,
there you go. They're definitely a power metal band for sure.
Yeah,
totally.
Especially album covers for sure.
Yeah.
Swords and elves and.
Yes.
Fuck yes, brother.
Yes. But I don't know. Like
same page.
Jantar is something more haunting. It's like, I don't know, like some pop star at like Half Speed or something, is more like what Jantar is. But I'm glad we had a little metal throwdown. It's always fun. But and of course, Steve, thanks for dialing in via the power line.
Yes, Steve.
Oh my God. Thanks for making this happen. Yeah, as usual, I'm technically challenged, but I'm glad we were able to make this happen tonight.
No,
and
you calling in on
tuned in to check it out.
You calling in on the landline, I think, is put this whole video over the top. So
I know. The cord, I feel like it's connected to the Power TV somehow off screen. You know.
Yeah, it's too perfect. It's too perfect. So I'm glad we were able to dial you in. I wish all of our guests could dial in by both video and landline. That seems like the perfect mixture of old and new. It's perfect for us because we're the mixture of new technology and the old, and this is the perfect hybrid for this wonderful occasion.
Yeah, that's what I said. This is so Power Comics, right? Calling in on a landline.
It's like retro futurism.
Over to you guys.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, retro futuristic vibes here for sure. All right. Well, without further ado, thanks everybody for tuning in. Stay tuned for more info on the Floating Worlds partnership. And I have to say one more thing before we let everybody go. I've been dicking around our friend Alex Turbin like it's crazy over the last few weeks. I actually bumped him from this week's. I know. I feel very guilty about it. I bumped him from this week's show because I wanted to have Steve do a run-in to discuss the new deal arrangements. That deal popped up quick. I didn't know it was going to happen this fast, so we had to get Steve in. Next week, next Tuesday, it's Alex's night. So come back next week for the early work of Alex Turbin, the man behind Mutandis. We're going to talk to him, get his take on his early work. That shit's going to be rad. And Ben will be back.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that stuff's going to be fantastic. And then, Steve, keep your calendar open because we'll have you back to do a bunch of different shit. But definitely,
we have to, dude.
Definitely Vendetta 4 and the artillery and the crowbars. I want to get it all out of the way before June 28th. So we'll have you back plenty of times. Yeah.
Anytime you want, man.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Just keep paying that landline phone bill.
Again.
Okay. Keep it plugged in. All right. All right, guys. Everyone. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week. All right, everybody. Take care. See you later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Power